If you've been paying attention to my shorts, you'll notice that I am doing a lampshade project. And to get started, I'm having a little trouble because I'm doing some of this one-handed. But I'm going to wrap around the twill tape here. And then I have a sewing needle. I'm going to very tightly hand sew. So I'm going to first back stitch a few times starting on the right, and then work your way all the way to the left, making sure your stitches are pretty tight and small since this is a small twill tape. And then you will have like a starting base. And then you're going to wrap as you go down the sides of the wire until you get all the way around the lampshade. To kind of show you how I start wrapping it, basically I took the length that I had here, this little stitch length that it's now been back stitched with a black thread, but I'm going to switch to white so I can see it, or rather it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to take this, and then I've shoved it all the way to one end. This is especially useful on round areas. And then I'm going to push this down. I'm going to make sure it's kind of tight because I want this to be fairly, let's see. I want this to be, come on, focus. I want this to be in a way that allows for me to stitch through it, but I do want it to be able to be more secure and wrapped and layered over. So that's why it should be kind of tight the first few times, and then you just kind of wrap it all the way down. And so that's what I'm doing. After a few YouTube videos, I have finished covering my entire lampshade with twill tape. There's really not much else to do but to go on ahead and get started. So in order to accommodate each of the panels, I'm going to take this panel of fabric and try and see which one, because you can tell that this fabric is secondhand. See that there's staining, there's blood staining here. So I'm going to cut out the best pieces of it, and I think I'm going to go vertical with this. Yeah. I'm going to go vertical with this, and I'm going to use this brighter side of the fabric, stretch it out. I don't really see the need to iron it too much. We'll see. It's probably a better practice to iron it. We'll see. Because I'm going to be stretching it so taut, it might not need to be ironed or pressed. I'll give it a shot. I'm only going to cut just enough to kind of slightly overshoot the panels here, and then I'm going to just keep doing that all the way around. I have my thread, my needle right here with some white thread already on it, and I'm just going to use up this cotton thread that I have. You can get it about anywhere. I think Walmart or Amazon can work. Michael's, R.I.P. Joanne. I'm just going to stretch and apply that to each here. And I'll come back when I've completed one panel, and then just to see how the stretching out worked out. See you in a bit. Right now, this is the first panel, so it looks like the wrinkling is not as big of an issue as I thought, as long as you pull it really tight. The only thing I did not expect, which I should have expected, the original fabric is very clearly vertical. It's very clearly vertical, and see this waving? It waves. I guess it's just how I pulled it, and maybe the shape of the lamp too, I don't know, but am I that upset about it? I'm gonna go on a limb and say, no, I'm not, because this is a lamp I'm gonna create just to create. And then I'm gonna show you where I put it at the end of the video. It's been a few hours, and I have one more panel left of sewing this on. So, as you can see, I will say some lessons learned. I do have skinnier twill tape, and this is a lesson I didn't need to learn, but in order to get to these corners, excuse the dry hands, but I washed them, more tightly and make it more neat, use a skinnier twill tape. See how it's a little bit bulky? I mean, it doesn't really matter because you can always hide this with some other form of lining, and it's not too bad, and I did it quite tight, but use skinnier twill tape if you can. This is 1/2 inch twill tape. Maybe go closer to the 1/4 inch end of things, 1/4 inch or less in terms of twill tape and thickness. So with the next lesson learned. So I guess pay attention to staining of fabric. Now this is older fabric. This is from somebody's stash, and considering I'm just trying something new here, I don't care as much. But I don't know if it's the payoff can be seen on camera, but there is a bit of yellowing that's happening or happened, and there are ways to get rid of some of this yellowing, but at this point I'm just trying something new, so I don't care as much, but that's something to pay attention to. Next, so far nothing else really so far, but just make sure that when you pull things tightly. When I did pull it tight, the lines kind of shifted, so it's a bit curved here, and then it's also curved here. But because again this is a project where I'm just trying something new, I don't care as much, and instead I just kind of let that happen and tried to bookmark the ends, or book match, there we go, book matched the ends, the stripes. Just kind of let that sort of happen. So if it curves, it curves. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least I tried to kind of blend what was happening. So I'm going to complete this last panel, and then I'm going to show what I may do to cover up these ends. I do have a bunch of trims and ribbons that I could kind of play with, and so I'll pull that out and then start going with what I think would work. Talk to you later. It's the next morning, and this is now all of these sides now completely covered in fabric, fully stretched out. It's kind of got a nice cool little shape to it. Because of how it curved, I ended up trying to book match. Some were successful, some weren't, but otherwise a good start. So now we can't just leave these edges raw like how they are right now. So I now need to decide what I'm going to do with the trim. I could just be lazy, take this black twill tape, find black thread, and cover it over like that. It's still a very easy way to finish it off. Do it around the entirety of the edges, do it with some matching black thread or invisible thread, and then just call it done. But it needs a little something. So to kind of give you an idea of what I have available, my cousin who passed away a couple years ago, had all of these extra little trinkets, appliques. She designed a lot. So there's these hearts. And you could tell she was an older lady, so it wasn't she was somebody very young. But you could tell she literally had lots of flavor to her. Just by the appliques that she has alone, gemstones, and you could tell the intent was for her to do a pattern with these appliques, and you have these buttons that for blazers and sport coats. I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool. And all kinds of things. She had like this patch you could put on. You know, this is a feather, sequin feather, and plenty others. Um, she had cowrie shells that you can do, or shells you could put on, and that's a common thing. I am of Black African descent, so it's not uncommon to see some of these things on. Like, look, you have like these very shiny, like, gemstones that we can apply on there. This is pretty cool. If there's enough, I might use this. And they're sew on, so even better. You can sew these on. Not all of them are sew on, so they don't. You probably will just have to hot glue or use hot fix. I don't have hot fix, so it's not going to work for me to use. This is nice. One big one. You could tell that her goal with all of these was just to have oh, these are barrettes. Yeah, I don't need this. I need to put this in my actual hair stuff. This is from her. And so on. So you had all these things, and one of the things that she had were these pearlescent beads. So I'm kind of stuck. I'm gonna stuff all that back, put it away. Movie magic. And here is all the ribbon I have. So some of these ribbons were all ribbons that I have collected over the years. What I did was I would buy off someone else's stash. So in order to save money and, you know, they clean out their stash, I get a good start on mine. I said, hey, you know, I found them on Facebook Marketplace, and for $160, they gave me like 6 bins, and not just any old bins, like 6 16-gallon bins of fabric and notions. One of those bins was just pure notions, so things like a dress hemline marker, embroidery hoops, rulers, patterns, threads. So she gave me all of that in that $160, which I guess works out to for 16-gallon bins. I guess $10 per, or no, 6 16-gallon bins, so 660. We'll do that math. I'll put that math up. And so what I thought about was using these ribbons. I found this roll of lace to unroll it to see what it looks like. This is like strip lace that I can apply right here. This is the strip lace. I know, kind of like that black twill tape example, I think I'm going to use this dark blue ribbon. When you look at that and then you compare that to here, it is wide enough to cover my sins. As you can see, it's wide enough to cover my sins, and I can tuck them in nicely, and it's kind of got this nice little sheen to it. So I'm going to use this ribbon, and I think I have enough of it. If not, I can mix it in. I got this cream color and a few other ribbon options. I could go really nuts and use this, except I don't like how the ribbon feels because it's so papery. I feel like this was meant to be gift wrap ribbon, and the person who purchased, and when I purchased this was years ago, I think I didn't know that it was gift wrap ribbon. And I also am not a fan of animal print. Animal print is incredible, but I'm not a fan of it. And I don't know why I thought getting zebra print in blue and black was gonna get me to like it. I don't like animal print, so maybe I'll just put this off to the side, and I think I have like a little gift wrap thing set up in my room, so I'm just gonna put this in there. It's like random gifts, wrap it with this, because why am I bother? Anyway, movie magic. So this is what the plan is. I'm gonna take some ribbon, cut pieces at a time, and then cover my sins. I have just the right color of thread. I'm gonna use this thread. See how it's kind of close? Pretty close. It's just leftover quilting thread that I'm struggling to use up. I do have another quilt that I'm working on, and I had that progress started last year. And this year, I want to finish it, hopefully this month. But for now, let's do this lamp. So now I've already stitched the lace to the top, and you're starting to get an idea of like what I'm going for. It does give grandma. It does indeed give grandma, but you know, also we're talking about stashes that I've taken from women all like 20 to 20 plus years to in the grave, older than me. Actually, I think the person I got this lace from may have been another 30 years older than me at the time of purchase. We're talking women who are older than me by some significance. But, you know, age ain't nothing but a number in the most appropriate way possible. And right now, I'm just gonna take this lace and then slowly stitch this down here. Now, what I did up top was because the circumference was so tight that I had to tack down some spots to kind of keep it stretched out so we can see. I can see it. But once I add the lace down here, I don't think I need to worry about that as much, because if it flares out a little bit, that's kind of the point. I think it'll be fine. And I have these clips, so I'm just going to clip them in place like that, and then just kind of do that all the way. My lamp is now complete with all the hand stitching done for pretty much everything. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to add these pearls. I'll see if I even have enough for all of that. But what came in Amazon today, it's been a couple days since I ordered this, so you know how Amazon shipping works. I got, ooh, I did not know it came with that. This is perfect. Okay, so I was looking, it's kind of low-key dumb of me, but I bought some anchors to kind of hold my lamp of where I want to put it, and it came with the stuff to put it in. So I have a drill. I'm gonna put this in and follow the directions and put that in, but we're gonna slide this in here. Small electrical work. Okay, in theory it should work through here. It does. I think it's a little too skinny for that. It's gonna need some sort of support to hold it in place. I mean, it's nice, but I need some sort of support to kind of hold this back. Okay, I bought a LED light bulb. We're gonna try it, just see something. That's good, okay. And from here, all right. Now the plan is that I'm going to turn this into use an LED grow light. It's kind of crazy, but here we are. So I'm going to show you where I intend to put it, so bear with me. Camera skills aren't incredibly awesome. So here is my Schiflera that I call Schaefer. The person who gifted it to me, she said, hey, I'm going to give you this Schiflera, you got to name her. So her name is Schaefer. And then I have my fiddle leaf fig tree. I did buy a grow light for it, and a dying lemon tree. It might not be dying, I'll just have to see if I can revive it. But downside to moving from Florida, where I used to live about 2 years ago, to up here is that plants don't necessarily grow in the winter times like that. So I put a grow light right there. Well, it worked really well, and it got the fiddle leaf fig especially got way too tall for this. So I will have to move this grow light somewhere else. And the goal is to move the light up here. So I'm gonna climb on top of this table where my printer is and put this grow light up here with the hopes of giving more space and more light to the whole area. So that's the goal. And then probably sometime later, I will probably put a timer on like an extension cable or cord, and then make it to where there's the focus. Make it to where that this will automatically turn on and off when it's appropriate. So I can set it to an 8-hour time or a 6-hour or whatever's appropriate for these plants. So I'm gonna go on ahead and put that on here. My place is not in the state of where it needs to be for me to show me climbing up and down. So I'm gonna put that up there this afternoon.